Yo, assalamu alaikum. Uh, mbe mo be control tol konton la. Fatin sabal la nyim platform oto. Mba fulal be assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh ta'ala. Yes, assalamu alaikum brother Habib Dabo, Moro Kamara, Zolin Manjang. Mbal be konton na ni molmil bebe jube rola. Ani milbina a jubela ani milbina lamoyla. Mbe mo be konton ne tola ani konton. Nata min na drong wolomu kachati mi ya lonko abe sembo be wararim baake kacha kende ba ay Gambia be kontani. Wole keta Honorable Badara Joof, the current Vice President, ay diamo minke bring aning cabinet molu bentala office. Ay diamo kende baluke very powerful speech. Adiamo sembo warta baake. Adiamo sembo warta baake. Andu niyajen koy ko adiamo sembo warata. Ay kuma kende balle fo ala diamo nyin kono. Ngalon aljama bijali ala diamo nyin moyle. Baremba katala ngala diamo play demanding. Isaje wala ka kacha fanan dia. Mbatu ngala diamo nyin bonni. Mbatu ngala diamo nyin bondi. Okay.
Bei Swappy kann man wiederaufbereitete iPhones mit
Batu ngala diamo bondale o folo lamoy. Nko nte kola ko fo fo Badara Joof dung mole UDP la manifesto diala bang fo mole ka advice ba because aka diamul minul fo ñin lebe UDP la manifesto kono. Badara Joof current vice president biri ya ta ya kalindi ay diamo min fanan kije a diamo e Gambia be kontan kunun koteke anatana diamu doke woyatinna molu lafta lalala because Gambian kolu diamu nyima diamu dima kan nenel. Badara Joof could be a change Badara Joof because he was a minister for 5 years at higher education. Kese mambo jabatoro. But perhaps he could be a better vice president than being a higher education minister. But actually, we have to applaud him for Aikumo Mimfo. But we want an action. Lafta action all. Andung Badara Joof ala boss mu molet mi ya lonko. He knows nothing. But thank God, Badara Joof ba bala. Bari Adama Barrow daltale kanyimfo ko atema no. Bari ay molle ka bala miluya no. So mimun tela kumoti jang. Wala whether Badara Joof will survive it. Because lumumina Badara Joof nyindi amo fonke. Dolbitale le ba fola Adama eko. You have to be careful of this man. Abe popularity le nyininkang ila government. Jumal lebe okela minuli alonko ebe mansa kunda tinyala. But Badara Joof ye fenne fala diamo kono ako. The reason it could help me God is to stand by truth and speak the truth. ako no matter what atete silala ka toñafo. This is very good. Nsulata wala le. So bari lafta aliyala di amol la moy demanding after sinadun kacha ko.
Political science and international relations, because that was the fight for independence. And there was a paradigm shift in the 80s and 90s because we wanted economic independence. At the time we talked about structural adjustment, the program for sustainable development, the CCAL and others. Today, in the 20s, we are talking about the digital knowledge, e-health, e-education, e-agriculture, e-everything. So there's a knowledge shift, there's a skill shift. So we have to look at that. How do we retool, recalibrate, and re-engineer the civil service to be more responsive and receptive that ministers to the realization and actualization of the goals of the NDP and our development imperatives? The Minister for the Civil Service has a big task, but we will be working together with the Secretary General, with the Personal Management Office, and the PSC to make these things happen. It cannot be business as usual in the civil service. We go to security. We would have to mobilize resources for them to be more effective. We don't have to take security for granted. In security, you never say it cannot happen or it will not happen. It happens when you least expect it to happen, because that's the time they strike. They catch you unawares. We will have to make the police, the drug squad, the military more effective, more efficient, but more importantly, more professional. That is important, so that you earn the respect of the people. It is unacceptable for an officer to see you on the road, stop you, and tell you we don't have attire. It is unacceptable for an officer to tell you Silobula and say Dasa Modena. Those things are unacceptable for a uniformed person. I think that kind of discipline, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Interior, and their heads of, the heads of the security should look at that. The SIS also should be more proactive. Preventive security is more important than offensive security. If you have solid intelligence, then you can preempt whatever the plan was. An effective, invisible SIS will be more effective. But not people who tell you, don't you know that I'm SIS? Or I'm NIA. You've blown your cover. What can you gather? Yeah. Those are some of the things that you will have to include in the curriculum of reorientation and the retraining and the retooling, and the in-servicing of these security apparatus. We thank them for the job that they have done. There is more to do, and we are grateful. We appreciate that. All we are saying is just be more professional, and we will help you to extend your professionalism and your professionality so that you can be more effective in protecting the lives, property, and the sovereign integrity of this country.
A, B, C, D.
A, B.
I'm sorry, the yellow YouTube what the cutting advertisement.
The honorable ministers of finance, trade, the central bank, the chamber of commerce, the business community, the ports authority have to put on some thinking caps and see how best we can address this issue. It's not easy. We are already in a very difficult situation, and it is impacting on the health and well-being of people. If the cost of living goes through the roof, it could break marriages, it could create animosity in the family, because people will begin having 1 meal a day instead of 3 meals a day. And then people become agitated, emotional, because there's nothing in the pocket. And you ask for something, then they are irritated. It leads to chaos and crisis. So, Mr. Minister, honorable ministers, let's look at this in extenso and apply strategic thinking to break up. And some of them are caused by the cartels. It's artificial. We have to be honest and be frank and be brave enough to take them on. I know that when it's business, it's profit driven, but it should not be at the expense of the majority of the lives of the Gambian people. Empower some people. Give them all the initiatives. Open up rolling LCs so that essential commodities like rice.
I don't know who is calling me. I'll heck out. Malun Jumali will call. Hello? Yeah, where is that? Bitte? Yeah, okay. Yeah. I have it in a Stella. Yeah. In moment, please. Thank you. Yes. Shut.
Sugar, oil, flour, and others can be brought in and dump in the market, depress prices, bring them to the level of affordability so that Gambian people can survive. You've seen it happen, in some countries. It works. You have to just be innovative and strategic about it. You cannot just pay lip service to it and allow it to happen. Think of the messengers, the drivers, the poor farmers, and we are going into the lean season. The rains are coming. They have not harvested anything. Think of single mothers or single parents. Think of the unemployed youths. That should prick the moral conscience of us policymakers and policy drivers to come up with strategies that would bring affordable prices so that people can live in peace rather than in pieces. And that brings me to employment. And it's cross-cutting. There's the Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Education, the two ministries of education, all of us, the whole government, our government. The Gambia has a very high rural-urban migration. It has a very high Gambia to Europe migration. The Europe of the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, or up to the 80s, is no longer the Europe of now. It was easy then, and you could make it. But today, you could mistake in Europe, as the goal. But it's the glitter rather than the goal for us today. Hence, the barbed wires and the walls and the repatriations and so on. And that relates to my point. And I would link the two thematic areas, migration and employment. The question is, why do they leave? There's a push factor. They come to the urban area from the rural areas because of the Coca-Cola neon light attractions of the cities, the metropole. And they think it is all life. And you see them teeming around the Senegambia area, the red light district. That is not life. You should revisit our education policies, our employment policies, to make sure that they are gainfully employed, whether it is in tourism, whether it's in the fisheries industry, whether it is in professional vocations like teaching or the security forces or wherever. We should make it possible. All small enterprises, an entrepreneurial citizenry that is enterprising in mindset, enterprising in effort, enterprising in skills that minister to their level of employability, a gainful employment that would have a redounding effect positively on the families. The most important thing somebody has in life is his or her life. But if you act out your life in the desert sands of the Sahara, only perhaps not to reach the shores of the Mediterranean and die, or get enslaved and tortured in some Mediterranean country or countries, or drown in the treacherous waters of the Mediterranean. And even if you are lucky and you cross to Europe, you are told you are not wanted because you are put in some tent, some camp, you are barbed wired or walled out. You find yourself in the freezing cold, and you get up in the morning and you find your fireplace cold. That is a serious issue. We have to look at that and readdress that. It also has a negative impact on the country, because your tomorrow, that is the youth, the labor force, the effective and efficient and competent labor force is migrating. There's labor migration. So who stays back? The retired, the old, and the feeble. Those people cannot move this country tomorrow. So you've mortgaged your future. So we have to address those issues. Concrete action plans that we need to do to be able to make sure that at least, we can have them gainfully employed. They employ themselves, or they are employed by the public sector, or they are employed by the private sector. It can only happen if they have the relevant and requisite skills that those industries or the private sector needs or the public sector needs, or they themselves can use to be able to, carve out a living for themselves. Mr. Chairman, there is also the land issue. If you look at the size of this country, I don't think we are more than 11,000 square miles. We have that landmass. Part of it is occupied by water. Part of it by our forests. need land for shelter. If we commercialize this land, our families, the future generation, where would they live? Especially when you give it to foreign private estate developers who make millions, repatriate the money, and then there's capital flight. And then we are denuded of land for our families. No, that is wrong. And I would encourage the minister to impose at least an embargo for the next 2 to 3 years on foreign estate land development. Reassess the land policy, and see how we can give at least 90 to 95% of the land to Gambians for homes, for shelter. It's a human right, you know. But also we need land banking for tourism. We need land banking for agriculture. We need land banking for fish farming. We need those things. We are not like a big country like some of our neighbors. So this land, which is finite, we must manage judiciously. The other aspect of the land that we need to look at, Honorable Minister, is protect the minority who historically had access to a particular land. It is the duty of government to protect minority rights. We should protect them to avoid some crisis and instability. Some of them are raw facts, and there are no lavender words for the truth. Oscar Wilde says, it is a moral obligation to say the truth. And when you say it, it becomes a pleasure. I derive pleasure in telling people the truth, no matter what. That's why we said, so help me God.
So in video ajamfata bakele, but niajenga nyim play, there are beautiful words. Beautiful, beautiful words. Wala nanko, I hope Badara Joof man UDP la manifesto mole ma diala bang, because this is exactly what UDP wanted to do. Wala tinanali la 5-point agenda kono la moino. You will hear all these things there. Land reform, tourism, civil service, livelihood, everything. This is what UDP was telling to Gambian people. But UDP, actually, we will thank the Gambian people because ye cartel for UDP. Ye cartel for UDP. No problem over damning. Honorable Badara Joof Mbafule is spot on. But, when the head is rotten, what will be the problem of the body? Kungobe tinyad, ete kungo tolita. Ibala jato be kala nyadi. Nyimu questionol di, mi ya lonko. Kunum famo min Badara Joof pareta nyin statement ofo, doltata Adama Barrow yale kai ko nyin kendingo ala kuo korosi. Because mimbe palaso do mala fi tonyala. Mimbe palaso do wobe nyapikan na land lekan. He is the very one who is grabbing the land from Gambian people. Ngakuma kese balle soto nyinto. Adama abarinulu ibe kodo ibe kene sango doron nela Gambia. Adama barinulu. Ye kodo bondi da mi malo. Yes, Alkali, Badara Joof, we have to respect him. Bari, alangan careful baake, because we no problem odi. We want action. We want the implementation. Definitely, Badara Joof could be ready to work. He might be a better vice president as higher education minister, because ala higher education minister ya be. Don't forget he was there. He was part of this cabinet for the last 5 years. Bari nga jele higher education problemul minul sototaje. Demonstration ol ketale unique ila university olto, demonstration ol keta college olto, anin ku jamal andu hanisa in college student o dolu just recently ikasi iro koto kela exams ke andu ilafta fenjamal le transform la to university where Gambia yo capacity sotoleba, because mbe university kilingo mimfango ibe min lokan wo man complete no Gambia university student ol ka sofa minke nga lon ibe bola faraba ibita Gambia college ibe bola Gambia college ibita GTTI ibe bola GTTI ibita MDI ibe bola MDI ibita School of Nursing, so it is not easy. And Badara Joof was part of them. So nyindiamu dima kana mota, although we have to respect Badara Joof because diamole fanankati na action kake, but we want action. I kumul minul before. These are great things. This is what Gambians wanted to hear. And don't forget, Badara Joof is a teacher. Our life was like he was a middle class person. Middle class. So he knows very well what poverty is. I alone it. So abenyin luxury min kono be. Perhaps now I feel like let me reflect back on where I come from. Wo ministal mil bebe bulko solaje minul la telefonol ka kuma je. Wo ministal de ani wo mol mil bebe je minul la telefono ka kuma. Imam Banko respect, Imam Badara Joof respect, Imela Dokuo respect. These are very foolish and nonsense people. Such high caliber in our country. Ayal kumandi, al nabitala meeting of sotola, al la telefonol ke silence. Al kana mol yab. Ni minister nonsense solbe siri nyindula. Badara Joof coming for, they don't want to hear that. Andu nyanta wole kela. Bari, Badara Joof, I all sector lema. Bring agriculture and everything. Just a man-damning address. Careful directly, wolo nyim fertilizer issue. I na livelihood fole, I have fole ko batamimbe laring Gambia no luka ko. In fact, ninyin kole ya kabe tente na be futu bangol le sambalana. Wole ako ni kole ya dunda anu tonyalo ngoti because ni dimbaya tiyo dolbeje ini la musol ye problem on sotole because of baluo Kenya. Bari lafta Badara Joof me understand. If Adama Barrow is not willing to do atekal minulfo, what will be his option now? Because ninga nyimfo iba fulal ko UDP kolom. Ngajele madi jobate asafa ko nyim vice president Sabol Milbe tambita. Badara Joof ya itan leko he is the best. Bari madi jobate wala ko al nga otuje. Mina mwela labi na mimfola Badara Joof fanamma. Yalong madi jobate ntanaka agree lenka disagree. Bari madi almanyan na selfish la. Albeya lonne ko. Honorable Usainu Dabo keta vice president tile. Nde Musa Kungo. Biri yake vice president. Nina executive o modol diamutale. Nkoy ko. Ba Usain la vice president ya. Ilafta adubennale. Andu mo jama yo fonye mo jama agritan na okuma kawala. Nko an efficient person mi ya lonka benna foreign affairs abala service kekan Gambia e fo madi jobate nyina tawala leba madi jobate alon ko political maneuver baroy woleke ay Usain Dabo sambana vice president yalo anything Usain Dabo wanted to do iko halafta kala president alafta la palace tal and Usain Dabo kala advices and everything anyanta min fola baroy akakele honestly bari maje bi ko be comparison lela. So okay, make a comparison also on foreign affairs. We need to be fair to this man. Fonga fair to Usainu Dabo. Ndebaten tulabake mbajaila. For his service, I minke bankoye. Bari, Badara Joof la nyin statement o ming ayefo. Very powerful speech. Aliya moila I mean for about land. Musa Drame, malom fabe nyindulale. Ahmad Ba, malom fabe sirin nyindulale. Badara Joof womo fulol. Ahmad Ba, Musa Drame, Adama Barrow. Dukare nyinin kabang. Physical planning kumandi bangye kumolu foye. Wato lo ibalo nako. Ini minister minube the same cabinet. Wolle fam benna banko wafukan luntangoluma. Yes, TDA area mobe ya lonneko. TDA area imanya na kawafu molia ika allocate yale for 99 for ika years le for then ika anyori for 99 years. Normally wolo mala luat because munatina imam pare ka jewafu ilafta laitu in the control of government. Barbi wo TDA area mojele keno sanje ya lis mil fama ya lon ko manke luntaw luntaw le mut manke gambianol. Badara Joof nyanta mako la minto ikanna national passport di businessman jelle la minulu ya lon ko manke gambia dingolti. Ngamra recently ngaje janne jojo mi ya lon ko ye gambian nationality chikajang ya dial. Andu wo jama lebe Gambia minulu ya lonko e benna Gambian nationality chikaka ka di wolula. Wala tan ko VP Joof wallahi mo mantare do yala jam. What you said wallahi niyata ko Gambia keta wo nyama. You will get the support of all the opposition people because munam opposition ol be la frinyina especially UDP. Amanke ko kafu ko lafta tarra palaso to le hani I lafta banko la nyato talela nyanta nga understand andu e ko banko te kala no one party system. So Mr. Badara Joof, Honorable Badara Joof, His Excellency Badara Joof, definitely ila wodo ila diamo ay Gambia bele kontan but we want action akana ke kuma ba fo da mati de. So if Adama is not ready to listen to you, ekakumol minulfo. Andu ngalonko, niye nyinke already pareta, you might go to your boss in a brief. Andu inyanta Adama advice lale ay duplication suminke ala mansa kundala. Minister of Civil Service, Secretary General, your Chief of Staff sort. This is not good for our economy. We would have saved money. But I'm okay. Ye Secretary General soro, ye Minister of Civil Service soro, ye nyimfana ye Chief of Staff soro. Niatra ko Adama Barrow pareta. Muneatina there are certain ministries as a whole lano nyoka na I minister position olu kuntu. But the size of the government is being enlarged. So you are part of that. Ibe Adama advice la wala munela. And wo ministry kutol, they don't even have a budget yet. Wolman budget of fangoso to follow. So where are they going to get the office? Where are they going to get the money? Puru itelbe kumasla do ko la nyamim fang. Because if budget teje miya longo, yo budget wolle. Because wo ministry il fang la ko manta han National Assembly follow. So, agriculture, mi yafo, tonyalom. Agriculture is very important. Bari, sign nom, Adama Barrow wolko be fertilizer wa afla farmers wol majane 2,500. Andu Adama Barrow kilimo before Ukraine war, atele lota ko, itele 2 years fertilizer le sambana andun they will sell it to Gambians for $700. So what changed? Where is that fertilizer now? Ikana foko fertilizer dole samana. Andu nenenga janne ben soirée dokumeno bondi mi yalonko biribe nyim fertilizer contract ko dealer. Ya di mole la mi yalonko Abubakar Jawara leo samba kawoni Adama Barrow londi nyola andu Adama got an interest in it. Ben soirée wala nan kalo kal alnyantal ka ben soirée lamoy. Albe kuja malona alben soirée lamoy alka the breaking down of mimbe caring alka lamoy albe kuja malon na Gambia la court mi alonko ntel ka muta ko they are doing the right thing while they were doing the wrong thing iben batandi kan iben kunami ka iben sunyaka the Gambiano bebe kelalako our problem is been solved but while Badara Joof knows very well ko Gambiano kata loptano to la hani plaster ibuka soto hani plaster ibuka soto ayalonne ngale ko ticha kotolomo he knows ate alonne from the previous regimes sako especially during the time of Jawara we are actually in the heart of teaching field so ate alonne ko facilities minul benunje so ala experience abe diamu ka wala and ayalonne ala comrades all minul be siri wodula there are some alonne ko there are very unserious people sitting with him there. But will Badara Joof niyatra ko aka kumol minul for because this kind of corruption mimbe nyimman sakunda kon he knows about it. What more minister lomu but say he is number 2. Will he be ready to step down? Niyatra ko Adama tala kumo moela because kunum fango de nko alele ko Adama Barrow be kumasele ba fala ko no this man Badara Joof no nying be undermine kan. Very soon, ibe kumasa ka ofana mfai. Very, very soon. And Badara Joof be mimfoka wolom tonyar. I can see the seriousness in Badara Joof. Wallahi. Because yalong hadama dingo, na minke aluo for ala body language ala jube. The seriousness is there. But the frustration fanan bejel. How they going to do it? How they are going to do it? Wala ya tinna. Niaje yalon kule ko kumasabu niaja koiko we shouldn't be afraid to speak the truth ayalon nako odula fangoto there are hypocrites there ayolon because typical attitude of some Gambians lebe wonyam ibe bulo kosikan barni pareta they have access to if they have Adama Barrow. Ano Adama Badara Joof kept vice president Timina manke ko he like Badara Joof. No, wanted because of wala language o anenga ka kaitol sute nyame ala education wala ya tina ya keje simply prasa ate makoi. Say Badara Joof he could go and answer questions at the National Assembly. He is not going to be like Aissatou Touré. Mi alongo ni otara kalaf kelo fam kelaje anu Badara Joof ya lonne fananko ye mimfo wolom nyinti ko ate Badara Joof nyanta official coming inherit la from Aissatou Touré Badara Joof ya lonne ko ye otu Aissatou Touré bulle ko puraka na kamfa so Badara Joof should tell Adama Barrow ko no nyimu mansa kundala property le ni lafta ifanse moto sangaye from your own money ye moto diala bare mansa kunda ta dukara yo seyndina ya follow ifangol ya start ni ifangol la first ya start ifangol la first barkana ka kuma dima fo molye wanted and people might say ko he par nyil fanal buka satisfy moyo kuwo kuge safu ko hani teng it's not that ngoy ko mafu ko mo bukan tenene de bar saka kola ya bak because nke nyinin kale nke nyinin kale nke nyinin kale de so nenero kay mo bele ka mo nene yes sajo inum barawai ijita guys amin do binata la selalawo nenero mo bele ka mo nene bari sain ndefana nga katale burfudun golle duwata nyeba malo pour at least ni mo pour kan nene aka kolea kuma dima bu kante samba sainde kuma dima ko itade ye liyo lay nengo kay nata ni ya fo mbe nyini kalal sa alba ke no la nyaadile will you be ready na manke itabe muna kala so wala yatina nka Honorable Badara Joof nyini nka jel because Adama Barrow is very corrupt. Thank you, Alkali. Womu mobile doubt whether he will stay in this position long because I come in for Adama don't want to hear those things. Imagine kunung minatal do ko la wala nambe red bulo minka. Imagine kunung ngamoy Adama fadera ka foko Adama Barrow birata Equatorial Guinea. He signed a bilateral relationship agreement, with Equatorial Guinea, which is not bad. There are not only the president, the dictator president there, but there are people, human beings, and actually Equatorial Guinea through holding Gambia a bilateral relationship it's not bad. We have our former dictator there. Me alonko, there is no treaty between Gambia and Equatorial Guinea tema. How can we get Yaya Jammeh? No, it's not possible. Number 2, are they going to write something called Niatra Co? There will be an agreement between them. If somebody committed a crime in Equatorial Guinea and ran to Gambia, can Gambia send this person back to Equatorial Guinea to face trial? Pruka extradite. For Gambia say okay ba. So momalo. Maybe Equatorial Guinea be fasika ya Jammeh fangola kuola le sign. Maybe ko Adam Barrow go look. Let's make this now legally. You people could get ya Jammeh nal sulatala. Malo. Bari nga mimmo ila diamo ko wolom nyintiko because they have a natural gas andung wobe kela fennet mi alon ko Gambia finance muna fanno alale. Which is very good. Bari mimbe nteli jakal kan. Say State House yo safela website to ko wo is a good thing. Ha tata Equatorial Guinea ya jego okay ninga gaso soro things might be gaso is cheap no la Gambia fete. But say intel fang la banko ke be tulo sinkanje State House nena mo safela website to ka fu Gambia no le ko tulo be sinkanje ni no. Atata mina nyiya number 1 ila diamo mimbe siala je 85% ya Jammeh kuolo. Number 2, what 15% to min tuta je. Ayanyi ninkale ko ila natural ila mineral resources nying. Iteka ospen nyadile idamma. So Adama wanted to get control at fanan damma ntella tulo. But Adama nga fuelo ko ito Gambia no nito be nyobuton lola le wo manke problem moti. Ha wala tina kunun ngoni mbari musol yen alaw nsarata na musola na sonta na muso na sonta ngata Senegal nga manyo nyini je fonsiske Senegal dingu fananti because Senegal dingulu ila ko kante nyabo baki Senegal dingu ila ko kan nyabo nga Senegal sunkutu ndingul nga Senegal funding kewol je drong WhatsApp group oto iko nyoyo ko al nga finti nga tan na nyindulato nga bankola ko bondi mimbe kere kunun momimbe benta woto hadama din jama la benta woto ntenga minje na talo hadama din jama bari wo Senegal ila opposition leader sol kono fulolu beje surwal beje jolalu beje mandinkolu beje bari ita moyla mola je ko Usman Sonko mu mandinka walla jolaleti alin kana tambindi woliye muneke wol Senegal ngol man findi kafuko pati ndinti jam pati bati jam ya jele ko Usman Sonko la pati wala fana warate telti be ko al ngala Usman Sonko kan be ngala Usman Sonko kan because banko mo be ka bula tele noma al ngala kan ilata kan mina mbare muso le kila na muso ka ya daninye manyo kuo nene malla fala bar sai Senegal ngol la kuo nyabo nyami pour ka Senegal di ya soto maybe ni mfarangela passport soto pato binan sabula ya ni ano ya fogo inara kaiti nyino la Senegal ha mbare muso ko no okay ngalla kumo moyle bar sai mbare muso mbela frin Senegal di yala baki because akanya bole Gambia jang ama hani me birintel nga carte o faydro esa falle folo ni borotata mama kande kan kaytandi ko nyin carte fayo man fea nyimu UDP la winolati esa fall ani mama kande be botaje tata honorable Usain Daboya foi press conference ko in fact honorable Usain Dabo le balante bulu ngo fadaw fanango no that one is out oto sila wonta hanyala ko rek bar sila ali mako oto ngak Senegal kayto soto ko mbaso no la nyaadi andu lafta soto in a legal way lafta la wala nyam malaf ngata wandi banko kan ngela kayto soto in an illegal way lafta la legal way le so sa al se mako information oto ni mu Gambia noti lafta Senegal kayto la fo be alawla nga ke dual citizen tiba because ila kuo kan te nyabole de yes so esa fal bring inata honorable Usain Daboya in fact itel ko let us reject this in totality honorable Usain Dabo ko hani jannimbe wo kela alinga akatanga evidence soto dalilo mimbati nan lambe risolto ni reject la okay aminata drame good sai kana ke baroti de lahido le di de lahido yewole di ni keta baroti kana ke baroti so sai biring honorable Usain Daw e balo no wole toko ni nyim ke ba lafta agridita e kaminfo ali jawolu kam minfo ika fuka gridital ni yatara ko nyin gridital no tombinu esa fale minfo abe wala fala ba fala ko yes we rejected this in totality bara ko hani ako ali ngam batu nga evidence o soto follow nda fola no ko ya sunyale ali ngal lamoy bar esa falla badi ngol mbele o audio moyja ako esa mbatu de yalo Halifa Sallah anenebe fenne fokam biring afutata fonkoto instead I continue ne angale counter la barako molka foloko hani nga wulo le soto wala fisiat afu maninga kaw sa nyim fana nyim fo surwa kangole to mfana mba fo surwa kaw ako aka esa si audio bi de muneko esa lutanga dem si ñi yi so seleñ bayil ñi si li yo so deme nga farle ñi da nga jox advantage UDP ya ali ajel de kabri woto nataji esa tata yuru push a ko bondije barimbe esa badukan fo 2026 esa bitala la ko surwal damay ko mane kune mane rek nga farlema so wahud mane nga dem fele aha ntel fulol ni jolal ni sarahulol ni mandinkol ni manjakol ni mankanyol ntel sila nyoka nga jube fo surwal be ku bon no le fanka bari wo surwal minul mu fatam fansilalt wala bitalate esaka surwa kende balle be Gambia oto surwalu nalbe o kandem la nalba kondem la al fintali ya kondem sign alte badla fo 2026 kal yala fanyamendo wote kala de albe finti la sign alia senandali esa la o kondem esa e finti ayo muso kondem mbenga ke kelenti we work together esa is a good man Gambia would need the service of ESA. But what point on you? Where ESA damaged? Where ESA damaged? And ESA is quite with that. Alunga tonya fo nyoye surwa kurungol miliyo fo SI minul ka kuma sifa fo SI surwa kendol taw fo la SI de no surwa kende taw fo la billahi nte luwolu nte fanan tata nsita nko nte be UDP le nte ngatra siri nte fonte fali amira ko nte le ba fo la mbama mandingol bar nte mandinga ya fisi and lam fon la sioti hani nda fulo reti bi nda fana ba fana ko he ntel fulo bare image sign ntel fana nsa woketal nak bawo state house sign e be fala kamera fola bi mi lomde bare wo mati nan la ka fu ko ntel fulo be bitala la adama le kan no it's not like that policy lomo we have to follow policy and in the leader fangola character. The leader who is going to lead you. Ndasitara no UDP le. UDP e mo londi mi alonko ngalonko no nying tete na carte odi lala. GDC e mo londi nga na carte odi wala because nga feel ko nte fe okay UDP la policy is here is good but the person there I don't trust him. Nte sonna wala. Hello? Hadim ngeke line on recording. Okay, mbar ngeke je. Aja bismillah.
Okay. Yo fan lafta ka contribute comme i kam for mi comme président la tadje et équatorial Guinée.
Ha.
Kuno ndamo le ba fo kam fadere.
Ha.
Ismatal nak ila miro ñi
mbe karange de
yes no yalla ifane ko betiata bakel ya du hakilo war
mbe karange de alten le bulu
no wala hakilo ala talla man so fo wala ada mano kay ikela man na use rek
yeah
sa ila mi fo ba so bari after da fana na comme da fana benna fadera kuman kunun comme baw fula bari fana nata hak because line ole muka me baake
yeah olom toñaat
yo so asekeno fana comme e kamim be fo awo be fana comme be kana miro la fo drop fonde president wa sekeno bari dunia kiti bunda bal fo ICC lamba malo
ICC ha
yo yalo president ila cabinet e kamin fo cabinet kono ani kamin fo molye bande muka kilim president ya kulo bala beje
wolom toñaat
yo okay so ndola banko ni da banko la mi alon ko sarangriya la banko la dol ka dani role ka wato mbom ya sarangriya okay so wakamala dunia la kamul makoy comme last time nanda ko pa mode dunia Gambia is part of the world it's a part of the world democracy you understand so kujama katra kullo kono cabinet president na la minister mil ba cabinet mu ko fentinde banko molyede comme nin dunia la isu tema comme nin dunia la relationship te aussi material ni so ku defane ku do miraje bari hadamado momoro na la miro fadera sa ko nyaadi momoro na la miro okay
wolom toñaat
so de nim miraje wala nyinti ko ase keno fana itolye mienfo comme itaraje natural resource gas comme suma kujama tende patata okay banda fane ya mirako ase keno dunia fane president kumando waya sabe comme nyanta tala ekotor jinale ni le president kaja ya jambe mba kitinde because dunia fane be surari jambe la pour ka kitinde because dictator tambe da dunia jang dunia ke kitinde So no fanambe mirajela bar yala no keda pro president na la cabinet mol yo fintindi kibar mun haba kolyale bla because mol lel fanan soto banko ka millato president kan ko e be la president kan because pour yaya na banko kan understand? So niya jube say ba contradict la as keno fana as keno fana tata je pour ya tribe ya jam samba no la nyaade ka fo nya comme ya minke jawra something like bari won wotek no ra ba kuma fulalam fon sa fo nya baro fana tek no because jawra ni ya la situation is a
different yeah
dunya fon la bel lafri ya la Biko ala mansa kunda kono Senegal hani Macky Sall min be siri Senegal ala mul fada je Senegal yo lo adum bina president min be siri jumal lel ka kanda gaynde njayol
Senegal
okay so Ghanaian ol fanana mul fada je Nigerian ol fanana me ol fanana mul fada je
an togolel fam
okay yo so ni mun dunia be ko so yaya moment ra bindi kan kula jam because wolof njay kam min for lulu wa rendi sa loxo lay naaj laya ay faro minke wala bo yelo lel mata bulola so gambe non fana nyen to understand hani ya jambe ya samba kitiola atela ke mo so atelo ke ba president baro me lafta kana janimbe bulala Badara Joof la kuma kan betiatal ba ko mi kan min fo ila diamo ko ne moy koy muka momuke nani ko akumata jele jinga ab rew wax bu neex du de yobu rew gambe du wax bu neex mo fa bari neex mo be no diata mo be so Badara yalla suwal kam min fo dis wedi bokku ci okay atana la follow amake follow but sai abe min be foka okay sonda sai but sai I do ko hinda mu da follow aka min be fo I abe min be foka sai I do ko sai bara na ra ma hanin karsa bosa sai sa chance la follow na jibe o jannin kar woro sai aka min be fo fa bo banko tamandin wala wanyam because min beje anin na kunun na yakuma do fo fade right banda fana karam hadamba dum le so hadamba dum mo man londi so o ma o min hilmi illa khalila hadamba dum mo man londo so be ka kara nyobulle ba hadamba mo ekila may no use da ngay utiliser sa xel bi xam so dunya membe wala nyinti ko mba opportunity do da go wato do na surwa kan ka Senegal surwa kan
no afo
okay so yala membe je ndolo na president ni president ni ate mu molti mi alon ko yalo Musa ya fo la diamo kono Musa Drame ay gambele lanti sube dundi nyoto
exactly
ane jumala dundi nyoto president Baro
abanta
yo nke last time na ko president la do sanji lulo ni abe ka funyo ka mas amal dala so million tansa bosi
amonyaka
alo president lo ta ka fu mole ko million woro wala le bembul na bagasul damma million tadu so corruption o nyinna ko mi ka fu nyame tusu corruption the hate corruption wala mu baro ni mo kendo fodi alanata limania dunda sonno mo kono aya falindi maybe o be ka kenon ala ka o be kenon bari baro be nyame na maji ko falling baro ni mo kendata do ko kenon mo moro ni bala cabinet minister la ni lafta lo la silo kan ka tonya londi drum abe bayle because I follow corrupta no bro mina no follow corrupta tete la no la baro la masakunda because why mo millo na ko dala so million kemi fula million woro wala le bengul gambe no mo hospital lo mo boro so ko la so we bala paso to mun tole ado Musa Drame na hanin be kamo pamur la jande Musa Drame Gambela klano be ani jumala betinya ani jumala ka do baro
ani
ita
baro
ko ba fo hanin bi bari lañu programme hani baro bari ndol fam wol mun do handa so ko malo nyadi wol be keno le san blado tari so Musa Drame
ni laftela ni kenobe mo mbulro ni e contact ye mo soda ye contact dron iba sanebul ye kodo ikakodo boni
yo you see so Musa Drame kombo kolo keno be to ani baro sa akanake minister of fisheries malo nyadi okay so yo yejele mono mol fol malo fo nenye fo la konate mol malo ba corruption o mimbe ba kono fo hani wota land fo gambe nol molo ba kono because ba mu penneti ba mu nemo bayti
bad nema
inta dun nolo kire nyaw nyin kam muta nyamen inta dun nolo programme ban nanta audio de danu ne nakinu lamen ko nyata bare nin afta nyim pareta ba audio nyin kile nen ya nyaw kam muta ba ko ne nyani corruption no min ka tamo ba ko because nda fanya experience la media mu karajol do dunya la bella moy kam ne tuba wala sita ya be fonna ka nyame so na audio de dala no naki modo min keda ke ba dola Gambia te na mo kenda bala no babbe mbul na ka polla bala UDP ko min keda Khalil Sedi no mo na ka nyomo so mostly wato don ka audio de dai na fam special na ki akati la forum mo ko na ka min fon okay so ni baro Musa Drame bondi wo minister of land aya kama nang fees receipt so mol kamina mol be mina miral because aya bondi damen to corruption la woto ka corruption ko la kadum woto so aya samma nan damen to woldo fano corruption o jawyata hani lanti fombe mu ka bamba mas moy dan to Khadim Rasul in London bamba mas ako every Friday ika dal so mala wil kene ka wala samba baro mo fo keni so lel kadu ko fo dumal kadu wala non ko corruption no mimbe ba kono wodo hani wo fonta hani land wala no baro nyim Musa Drame bondi place oto aya samba na nyim place pour ko bañi ne mo min ka sotoje ani foreign milk ñol muta min mu tuba bol ni ceni so ni moko tan kensa pour ka kodo ñi ka dugu ka pour ka corruption o ñi de da ka gambela bana amuta won keto joko di baka tan ka gambela badila ika ka kodo ñi e mo kunkili nafa bañi min bebe je bañi corruption no min be je ta dun nolo ko banna audio de dale espèce mbaki le yalla ma ni yalla moy e fon ballo non ko men fo to nyala bar gambe no ko kili na be bulal because fele lafta kamila mol nyanta tral na lo to nyaka yaje nyim banko mol kafo ko do tan gambe ko do ba gambe le because you know lack of man nyaton ko kendol le so mol fana man lano alale man la kilala so because be niaje komin be ba Gambia atanka mislima banko ngam fan kumandi mislimo la broda Musa billahi wallahi taala komin ba Gambia manya nakela yalo walon kunu nafo faden kako Islamic Council Rawdatul Majlis Christian Father Soul Hamadiyal Imamul Hamadiyal be nyanta talale momron ni sa conference hani mantano iman delegation woni ni kada state house be nyanta conference kala kadiam bankola namo mi altalla man so adinna president be siri hanim bi sa kanat kan diola bandi am kafo banko don yalo nyumu be nyumu ibe ko fara lolti because mo muronding nyumu dun dina dum kewti al kiyamo lolong altalla be manso nyinin kala nyim bela na molul yalon wala mun na dum dina dum tolje anun tol fon putin tol mil fon no e findi personnel civil pade e tol mil fon konkino ngalon ko mal londi so mo muke dankum ala bam be nyinin kala comme yemmi na contribute la banko kam biri babban wala janni ka fa janni kana la akhirja so nanyin bunni nanyin fonkol ñin be muy be kam farlo ti ka wuli ka bank president ñini ka because tulolam ñi mu banko be la na falti a faramole kam because momoro ni make ni ta fade mu al mamoti mu al kaloti ni fato ko ne mu usta solte parce que talla be ñini kala malo fo gambe non fo fo fanan ke na donnal fo mu na mo le ñini blatu bondi ñodol fo ma bondi ñodol
ya belo
yo abaraka baka lafta ka wala contribute
baraka hadim ila contribution o betata bage on contanta bage thank you very much thank you wolom hadim rasulti albe alonne ala kuma kawol ka bete ya bake anda ay kuma kendel fojang ay kuma kende bal fojang ay kumol fojang 40 jele so mbe tentula bake mbe jayla okay sain alimbe ngake korosir lalti ngake lamoir lalti His Excellency Honorable Badara Joof nsa tentu ala kuma kendo kan but he has a big task to do now doku babul le doku bale babul because ay kuma kende bal lef bar corruption o be Gambia bakel de VP Badara Joof health agriculture, foreign affairs, local government, fisheries, trade. Adu niaje nga trade fango fo jang. Pour Badara Joof se nying fana understand ko because malam fa kalamdal ko iko 50 kilo bag of rice. A kalamdal because aka every newspaper soto. Every newspaper. Nying heads of the phone call. Department on every newspaper department on fanke la newspaper sange wolka newspaper company jole monthly ibe ka sotola sako vice president ibele ka fonko sot so aje jele ko 50 kilo bag of rice bawo standard newspaper la safe ko ika sunyale ka 5 kilo bondije so ika 45 le di mola in the price of 50 so awo belon bari jumal le ka anda ya fole ay na poro fana na kumo fole komi minulka importation oni exportation oloke ay ol bela kumol fole bari there is a man mi ya lonko wala ka Adama Barrow so motolla aka so kodola kalilu wage min manke gambiante andu woka aka mano sambana gambia aka fenjamal le nat nan gambia so wala nan ko Honorable Badara Joof has a big job to do because nyantala nga encourage nga support because abe lorin to abe tonyale foka bar fabina lola o tonya kan sa ngino mumbera kontan andu Adama Barrow atakake ma tayleti akake ma tayleti de ala kumandin jalolu wolbitala no kan ka Badara Joof la ko onda mainata Adama Barrow ya bar Badara Joof man fen for itele ko al pareta do ko la sa yare ay fanga yal nako itebenu ebe feal bari ko pareta do ko and we could see this in Badara Joof not the same Badara Joof at the higher education at the fanam be bula kan lambumba yo le fenu abe dering mafa corrupta bari sign another dami sign is willing purka leadership mantelo nyinta so we got to support him but we want an implementation malafi danko wrong every time nal benta meeting la Gambia no ngawolon ne statement ngo hani UN niko dunia be alna la statement ona wallahi Gambia ante silala ninna molia safe ibita min folaje inna lillahi ni meke ku fan American call ba wolbe visa ni lay ba falam baranga ta hosulin la Gambia ha bar ni futata airport maybe the suicide commitment ha ni e fanje Gambia maybe the suicide commitment so nyine beje ka kuma di mal fo bari takela de banko mol batata andu UDP e kumale fonum kombon kole nu e gambian kol fa in general ko nintelu nata mbe land reform o nyin mbe commission o londilal land reform be kelal UDP o folenu so wala nan ko fo UDP molen na manifesto di Badara Joof la ba but well ni haniyata ko molen na manifesto di it the person did a good thing because this is what we want for Gambia. UDP would not be selfish. Anum Badara Joof, wallahi, kana Adama Danku, your doors are open. Don't close your doors for the opposition. All the opposition political parties. Kanela Bunda Sorongano. And we want to see whether you, Badara Joof, you will have this courage to even invite the opposition leaders in your office to have a discussion with them about the country, and this will take the country way forward because munon problem or ni oppositional manke banko jawodi for doide bari se fanal invite banko jawol imaje wolum moyen kola ko fomman news la moy King FM nka mu news iko doyin kolle ya safe ko ha ni motata mojube lopitan munata na molbe o fintindla kom fay ko nkai ko dia ko ha ye wala safe ko ha nkai fota safer tala ba Usain Dabo kata oje jallo jube loptan Usain Dabo ma fo media al nanam nata oje la jube but Usain being a prominent man andu moma mo yabe diam la media wala so ni media ni news media ya safe moli abondi Facebook oto ni wala ya aldimi Halifa Sallah buduode yalla e murbal sanjanne iko pour coalition 2016 na security murba e Halifa Sallah sai murba be marché oto ko ta sang ni be fam kala nyam ye fam ko nyam bari ya Usain Dabo ma fo moy ko nayin interview molle yajeje ya safe ko atata oje jube andu Usain Dabo ma mo natal abitala ni journalist manta atata je hadama yale kan islamo kan oje mala classmate ledi oje mala friend ledi oje ma badi ngolati atata jube wala kam amanta jube alna lenke newspaper to imma woma nyanna ku yala le falka o safe adama baro tata oje jube janna alma o safe ala muso tata je lal ma safe but because of Usain Dabo tata je nal lafita al taje nal tel tata je ni mo ya bondi o alhamdulillah ni mo ma bondi o alhamdulillah wo manken tella hajidi but Usain Dabo ma fo moy kal nal ya safe hani amawo fo al fata nyin kebala aliye mune konnante ya soto nye because ala sobeya nyinati nal ya ko ala banku lafo aliye banko nyinin ne fal be batata atenata ay min soto no banko kan fo banko e banda alma soto no wakana kuyale ala la kero lo modi ni wo kuyatali albe ala la nyinin kala say albe ala la nyinin kala de not him not anybody ni yatara fanko ngalon ko Halifa Sallah ma o safe bari ni ila editolu alla newspaper lo mu foroya so ni wole o kusi fa safe janta folele ko is this even important jumale news di tella so foy malon ko molle Usain Dabo je hanin jumala alon fo nosle bije walla min fawbe sirinje walla mo dole natalo ta ka janjani indi social media kay tandi ko ba Usain tata oje jubele munebe o kuyandi lali al nga bankola problème o discourse ale nyine ke jam al ku alkafa hanin nin diamta abe UDP le makola fo sign bire adamo ka bal kila rita menola awla fontel fanali nyim kunna al dimi al me yilla ko sidia be boyla sidia la boyo wayal finish le so nyin kamfa ani wo diminna alinga oppositionolu nga banko milube mararen na banko la ranke so la nga wolle kiskisi bar opposition ite ko be oppositionolu kiskis la ye banko mimbe mararo le yo tuje rete man la fi banko la nyaatu tala alinga sabari wol manke kumati so sai Honorable Badara Joof, take this opportunity, talk to your president, because ita hanyila kaga. Afo Adama ya faiko. I want to have a discussion with the oppositions. What is going to be the way forward for our country? Invite the oppositions at State House, at the VP's office, in a kacha, in the opposition only diamu. They have good plans. Imagine Aliente la manifesto sunya. Malu jumala di Badara Joof la. Kadu it's a carbon copy ya be mimbe fokan. This is what UDP we are saying. In fact, there are certain things among wolf and wolbe UDP la manifesto nyinkon. Wallahi mimbe banko nafala UDP be wole keka. UDP be wole keka. So oppositional kumandi ini a discourse. Kane ni koy be bulala Adama fe ite you are a technocrat. Ite la nyanta diamla Adama because he doesn't know. Ama long. Waya mutala ko ka red carpet of fenai police olena soldier olena ye national anthem la ayabulo la konoro ni be guard of honor famo kela ate nyanta mala nyame bar ay god. So nyina mukumoti dal lafta min folale bi ndede ala kuma kan lien impress baake bari mbe sulari implementation no because there is corruption. There is corruption. So ali alon nako minul ka banko mol la kumol mol because if Badara Joof in this capacity I adiamuda banko mol la mine lela banku dingul la mine Badara Joof yo le fode so sai oto ngalon nako nyilel ka banku dingul la kumol nka kumol mil fo ikafo al kanal fo badani social media fengeren kirib karo ke moyle. So we will thank him because I very good diamol leke all the sectors, minister mil baby jay bela sector male. So budung saying the challenge is there for wolu ibe okela or ni Badara Joof found a boss misbehaved her. He don't want to respect the rule of law. Corruption obe rampant corruption obe tak and koteke. We want to see what else Badara Joof will do and what he will say. So nyino mun na kumoti dal ala baraka bake mbal tentula mbal jaila for watching. Mbe mo be tentula mbare musolu ani antifa dabo eko hani nkara musoni antifa dabo ko nga naturalize je baro wobe time o tala Senegal ninko be naturalize malo ni tare sida Senegal how many years from inyanta ka wala kije pour ye naturalize so abe mela bakele I believe anu Senegal nkolla ko akam kontaan bakele because Senegal is one ni nata bankola kuoto ika jeleko we are all Senegalese. Why not mfanalka oke Gambia? Barahani. Yes, because I hate Lawyer Dabo, I hate Lawyer Dabo's party. Hani ata Adama be banko duna dinkolo kono. Alinga bulaje. Hani wante banko dinkende yadi. Adama is not the option. Nintel fama banko molmu dote bi. Be nyanta folal ko Adama. Badara Joof palaso ni nyanta wala fola Adama pura e makoy Adama e boje Badara Joof e nasi Badara Joof honorable Badara Joof his excellency honorable Badara Joof mbe tankla bake for your job well done ngajele fanan kunum mole ya kinyana dukare UDP mbali dan la ku kilina Fabu Sane alkal konte nteli me NV fenna me NV fewo fenna bar mimbi je wolom nyinti ko ni ya tara ko mimbe fokam PMO ko ila kaito wolete imawo capacity soto kake fonko itel fon liye wollon ne yalon na broda Fabu ndekola ni nga kol ngomba falaale ko afo Adama scholarship le dile yeta ye fenkara hanne abakela administration lati management lomba ibe fi danko yo karayes yela kayto soto Adama la nyman sakundate la banda kate fam kan city Saudi Arabia kontelon consulate ite consulat doku kelno ite diplomatic doku kelano because banindir buka kewoto diplomatic banindir buka kewoto ni ko de ay officer yelele pour banindiro iko Fabu Sane as the chairman or director o permanent secretary wo ini moto nyo sabalala nkonte fem fola foni nge congratulate bari koy bita kan damin diplomatic mission ni mol yete la o video kotol ni la o banendirol ki yo translate wole arab kangoto wole o moy kante kunkunduje so be sabar lale alkal konte kulle bete kunto mi yalon ko nga min moy jam min be fota docteur fenke ambassador Fadera almane manin kafar kala ito ku yata je alkal konte ye gaso fay honorable Hussein Dabo ito ku yata je alkal konte ikamolu intimidate ito ku yata back so ite manke moti min nyanta gambiano represent la comme ngam min fo minulbe Angleterre fatu bom ben suda fana manya na gambiano represent la at that she got the knowledge, she got the capacity, but after manke moti min nyanta tel represent la odulato anu fenke Honorable Badara Joof kabo bilan telanga foye your position is under threat nzo foye de sai ni Angleterre nkolu balanta fatu bom ben sudas keno baroba murund lanane because abe lafila kote ke ka wesol impression la I will take a woman vice president because nyimbe keta fennet no mi alonko I feel like oh my god ifelenti ben blame kay konte buka musol tan na sakunda andu wonte barola patio fa ala député wol mo jello musoti ay jelle londi baroma musol regard ame muta fente barimbe danna janne mbal tentula mbal jayla the series minalale Badara Joof number 2 do fanan kelale sala audio ala fonko play kotake nga lamoy pour mbesi ke korosir lati ha mba fola mba tentula mba jayla abadi unketa momoti ya fay ko Gambians are happy with abe aya kumase nyaming but we want to see action. Let him involve himself in making those actions. We want actions, not only sweet lips. 9 actions, because Gambians are suffering. The health service is dilapidated. Agriculture, yalo agriculture ye nasi fulale about nasiol all about agriculture. So Dr. Honorable Badara Joof, thank you so much. Nganyinolo leadership to, and do let nothing make you to subdue yourself to Adama Barrow's corruption. Adama Barrow ifanga ya fole ko cartelo lebeje, cartels. Yale yo fole. Iko cartels lebeje. Meta nyim folalde. Bari ite fanga yo mo concretize le. Kaita ndiko they are cartels. And those cartels have started fighting you. So have a thick skin. Fight them back. We Gambians are behind you because he left a Gambia le bondila. So thank you very much. Ala baraka. Mbal tentula mbal jela mbe dan najak for watido. Ala baraka. Mbe mo be tentula mbal